it's been blowing at my back. I was born to bring trouble to wherever I'm at. I got the number 13 and it's tattooed to my neck. When the ink starts to itch, well then the black will turn to red. I was born in the soul of misery. I never had me a name. Well, they just gave me a number when I was young. I got a long light of heartache and I carry it well. The list of lives I've broken reach from here to hell. The bad luck wind, it's been blowing on my back. I pray you don't look at me, I pray I don't look back. I was born in the soul of misery. I never had me a name. Well, they just gave me a number when I was young. Well, they just gave me a number when I was young. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name's Aaron. I always like to start and say, hey, I got a great one for you. I got a sweet one for you. But today I got a dark one for you. I got one called 13, written by Glen Danzig. And of course, Johnny Cash did the famous acoustic version of it. That's what this is based off of. But as always, before we get started, check out the description. I'll put a link in there for a free tab so you can figure out some fingerings and things that we're doing outside the video. So without further ado, all right, so the tune, the way I started it off, added a little tension in the beginning. So played an E7 sound, right? This E7 chord. And the reason I did that is because the tune, the one chord is A minor. So we're trying to create this tension to release. Again, 5 or 5/7 chord to 1 minor. So the scale that I did to kind of highlight this E7 tension sound was called harmonic minor. And for those of you that don't know this, you take a minor scale. So that's A to A there. That would be like if you got on the white keys of the piano, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. If you took that scale, which is A minor, A natural minor, and then we just raised, when we get to the 7th tone of that scale, if we raised it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I took that G and I moved it up a half step. I raised it up a half step to make it G sharp. Gives it a little more tension and a stronger release back home. Okay, so by the way, if you look at the E7 chord, it's got a G sharp in it. The note that you changed or raised a half step in the scale. Okay, and we're doing that on purpose because we want to highlight the strong note in this chord through the scale. So when you hear this E7 resolved to A minor, you're hearing. All right, so what I did was I created a little drone to represent the E chord, just playing an open E, and then I played some harmonic minor sounds. So however you do that. So, you know, a couple things. If you don't know A minor, you've got to figure out A minor. Not that hard to do. And then, you know, find it in some different areas of the neck. Then adjust that seventh scale tone by raising it a half step. You got your harmonic minor. And, you know, you're in there to make yourself a nice little tension sounding and release thing, which puts you at the beginning of the song. Okay, so we get past the intro, now we got this little groove thing here, and we're really trying to be focused on good time and heavy groove. So what am I doing here, or what could you do? All right, tried and true kind of open acoustic chord concept would be you have this A minor chord, and we play bass line with the root and the fifth. And again, numbers, sorry to hit you with the math, but we have A minor. A is our root. If we count up A, B, C, D, E, that's a fifth above. Those are both in the chord A minor, the A note and the E note. And that's a real common bass line in a lot of different style musics. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing the bass notes on 1 and 3, so root, fifth. Root and fifth of the chords on beats 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then I'm playing the chord, the rest of the chord on 2 and 4 and. So 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So that's just you know, one idea for creating a groove. You don't have to copy it exactly. You could play just the root note. Works pretty good. You can go root to root. You know, another good reason to kind of know your notes, what notes are in chords, you know, what the chord tones are. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. We're playing bass line. When we get to the D minor chord, same exact concept is going to apply. We just have an open D as our root of D minor, and then the fifth A. So root fifth bass line again, with kind of the bass notes and the strumming in the same beat structure. So, and then might as well go through all your chords. With the C chord, you can play a C and a G note. That's your root and fifth for C. And then on the E7 chord, you can play an E and a B note. All right, so in terms of establishing your groove and your rhythm, we're talking about playing a bass line and chords at the same time through the chord changes. So, all right, so then we get into the melody. We have to add in this bad luck wind's been blowing at my back. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because we want to keep that groove solid, but we also want to add in this melody. And sometimes when you play, you know, both, it can get a little bit hard to do. So generally this melody, it's first of all, it's only got a couple notes: E, D, C, and back to E. So 3 notes. But let's listen. My strumming stays the same as if I was playing bass and strum. So when I put the melody in there, I still play the chord mostly on 2 and 4. Bad luck, wind, or 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then 1. When I get that C note in there, I've got to give up a little bit of the strumming. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So here's the melody with the chords. I'll play it pretty slow. so like I always say, try to keep the groove going, make that more your focus than anything else. If you feel like there's too many melody notes, maybe you can omit one or figure out how to work around your groove. But we want to keep the groove solid. I think if the record skips, everybody kind of feels that and knows that. If we slide in and out of a melody note, maybe it's not so kind of intense for the listener. So okay, so we got through we did the chords, we did the introduction, we did some some bass line playing. Let's talk a little bit more about some fills, because I did, when there was space, did something like this. And so I'm just working out of the A minor scale again. Out of the A minor scale. I did a little passing tone note here, this D sharp. Okay, the big take home on this stuff is your timing. So let's say we're going to move up into the D minor chord, like bad luck when, right here. Check it out, ready? So I played that like ascending line or fill or bass run to get to D minor. Let's talk about that. You got to know where you're starting these fills, and you're aiming to come in on that next measure on the downbeat of D, because we're going to D minor, right on 1. We want it to be clean and tight. So that particular fill was 3 beats. So let me count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So that fill, I don't know if you saw that. I strummed for 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Fill, 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 fill. D minor. So I knew that fill was 3 beats long. It went from the 2nd beat to the 4th beat. And on the new downbeat, I nailed 1. So that's really important. I want to express that, you should be targeting that 1. And if you have to do, if you can do a smaller fill, like what if you did a 2-beat fill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. That's fine too. But the point is, you knew that was only a 2-beat fill, and you still knew you were hitting the D on 1. You could do it, make it really easy, do a 1-beat, fill on say beat 4. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, that sounds fine. It's totally legitimate. But know where you are. You can't just blaze off on a run and play like 5 beats, and you come in maybe missing 1 or somewhere in the middle. You got to have a plan. You're trying to execute it and make it, boom, hit 1. Okay? So when you play around with these scales and you're going from one chord to another, ask yourself, what am I working with? What are the parameters? And how do I make it sound good? Don't just loosely play fills and stop the beat and start whenever. We want that clock to keep ticking. So one last thing is that you could take this tune. I think you could put the melody up the octave, since the melody's so simple. You could do it up here. All right, so this is a good little game to play. It expands your knowledge of the fretboard and the scales and things. So you have the A minor chord, and now you're thinking. Okay, so what I just did there was I played this E note above the A minor, because I want the melody note to sit up on top and really ring through. Kind of did a little fill. What'd I do? And then when I got to the next melody note, this D note, check out what I did here. I didn't play the D minor voicing that I've been using, because that kind of obscures it. It buries this D note because there's an F on top. When we play this voicing, we lose the melody note on top. So I think this is a good thing to try if you're, you know, what I did kind of, I don't know, it just happened. I had the E minor, and then I did this. I played a D minor chord, but it wasn't the, you know, kind of this standard voicing here with the F on top. It was this D minor. It was F, A, D. So I played a different inversion of the triad. And what that does is it gives me the D on top to sound out. We hear that. We don't hear that F note. And I think that's really important. So I've seen a lot of videos on triads here on the internet lately, and they're, you know, they are good to know. They're very important. And in this case, you know, we're doing it to support a melody note, right? We have the note D, right? You could go down here, right, for a D minor, but that gives you kind of A on top, right? So knowing these triads, and more specifically what melody notes on top, can really help you with one of these arrangements. Okay, so play around with that if you haven't played around with your triads. Learn some different, you know, versions of these triads. So all right, I think that's about it. We kind of covered all the stuff that I did in the video, and I hope that again, my goal here is to get you to create your own arrangement and put your own special sauce on there and spice it up. And you know, if you have to do a capo or maybe an alternate tuning, or you know, change the beats, or you know, whatever, you know, we're taking an idea like Johnny Cash's, in this case, his version of the tune, and kind of working off that and maybe expanding a little bit. You might take it to a whole different place. So anyhow, hey, I hope you enjoy this stuff, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Bye bye.